Well, everyone, it seems that we have big casting news for Man of Tomorrow as James Gunn has officially found the actor to play the main villain Brainiac. And especially for what I'm about to talk about and explain in this video is not only who the person is playing the villain, but like what can this mean for like the personality of what shapes the evil person that is within the comic material, and for what I think of this casting, especially for what Superman is going to be going up against with having Lex Luthor help you as well. So let's not waste any time. And so, if you're new there, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so I'm on any future videos. But now, let's just hop right into it. And so, as we've known about Man of Tomorrow for a while, and ever since we've known that Brainiac is going to be the main villain of the movie, and he's going to be going up against Superman with him and Lex Luthor teaming up to take him down. And with James Gunn, he took to his socials to confirm that Lars Eidinger has been casted as the main villain, Brainiac, and Man of Tomorrow. And even for what he put in the post, it said like after all the auditioning, after he went through so many actors, is that with this man that was on his radar, and that he perfectly casted him in the role. So that's the kind of person that James Gunn looks to when it comes to casting for like these superhero comic book movies. And now, especially with my take and thoughts on this casting alone, I think it is pretty decent. I kind of like it. But especially when you look at the name Lars Eidinger, like I don't know much about the actor. I'm not familiar with his work, but especially if you look at his filmography and for who he is a German actor. He's a musician, rapper, and a DJ, and who is not part of like big mainstream movies, but he is basically known for Jay Kelly, which is the Netflix movie with George Clooney and Adam Sandler that's streaming on Netflix, and he was also in the live-action Tim Burton Dumbo movie. And so, but not a lot of like big name mainstream movies, but especially with him being cast in the upcoming Superman sequel, Man of Tomorrow, it definitely makes sense for why James Gunn looked to this person to play this specific type of villain, because especially when you look at Brainiac, who's going to be making his live action debut, I mean, this needs to be portrayed well, and even people that have been saying online is that, oh, they rather go for a Matt Smith-esque type of actor to play this role. I mean, but I'm certainly guessing like that they want more of like a not too familiar actor, like not like a big A-lister to play this villain. And even if we come just to know about it, it's like you don't need like a big name actor just to play the main villain. I mean, I'm definitely on board with this casting, but especially for how James Gunn looked at it, like he obviously liked his audition and gave the approval to cast him in like the role. But even like it comes to terms for who a Brainiac is in the comic material and for how Lars is gonna bring him to life. But just for how James Gunn is gonna be bringing his take on a Brainiac from the script to the execution of it onto the screen, which is something that I am very much excited for. But even though I'm a bit optimistic, but even though I have not seen too much of his work, but I'll definitely do some studying before this movie comes out, but I do have a feeling that Lars is definitely going to crush this performance as the villain of Man of Tomorrow, and I think he is gonna do great. Like no matter what, he's gonna get in front of the audience's eyes, especially for what James Gunn can do about like taking these like not big name actors and turning them into like powerful, like a lovable characters that we'd all invest in, because that's the power of James Gunn's direction for superhero comic book movies. I think this casting is perfectly well done, and I think James Gunn did choose like the right person just to play this role. And also, as we have come to know of Brainiac and for what he does in the comic material and why they need an actor like Lars Eidinger to portray this role, because Brainiac has a lot of personality and has done like such evil things, especially to Metropolis, especially to the Kryptonian heritage that is within Superman. Even though like I think this actor is perfect, not like a big name type of actor, but I'm really on board with this. But now of what it matters is we have our Brainiac for Man of Tomorrow. Just for how perfect it is, but especially when we look at all these other big mainstream movies and when they pick not too familiar named actors to portray these roles in movies, and we end up falling in love with them, especially for how they portray them in a good direction, it seems. And now, even with Man of Tomorrow, of casting a person like Lars Eidinger just to play the main villain, and I hope it's not like a one and done and he goes on to do like multiple movies. And I think there is real potential there, and I think this actor is going to do great. He's going to crush this role, and especially for how I liked Superman and how invested I am to be seeing Man of Tomorrow with Superman and Lex Luthor going to be teaming up, especially to turn into enemies, and now to teaming up to take down Brainiac, and even for, I can't wait to see for how they portray him, especially in his live action debut, and for how he looks in the comics, just for how well he's going to be portrayed on screen. And then that's something that I'm really excited for, and I think we should all be too. And I think James Gunn knows what he's doing, finding the right people to play these characters, and especially with his centric flair for what he puts into these movies. I trust and have faith in James Gunn just for how well he does the casting, and even though he went through so many auditions of finding the right actor, and damn, there he is. But just with my final thoughts in general, I think I'm on board with this casting. I think Lars Eidinger is going to do great, and I hope he delivers a good performance, which I'm sure he will. But even though with people that are not familiar with his work, but I'm pretty sure like once this movie comes out, people will look into him more, and hopefully that he'll be being put in multiple movies, and especially for how well he portrays the role as Brainiac, because he has a lot that goes on in the comics. I'm pretty sure Lars will definitely deliver on his end with his take on the villain. But yeah, I think Man of Tomorrow, it's gonna do good. I mean, I think it's gonna be a great sequel. It comes out in 2027 in the summer. So yeah, and hopefully, fingers crossed that James Gunn brings Brainiac to life in live action that we have not seen before, and I hope it does good as well. But that's gonna do it for this video. Just let me know in the comments down below, and what are your thoughts on this casting choice with Lars Eidinger playing the role of Brainiac, the main villain of Man of Tomorrow, and if you believe in James Gunn with this casting. But just let me know your thoughts on this news in the comments down below if you're excited for Man of Tomorrow. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to know future videos. Also follow all my social medias all linked down below. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.